what I want to talk about is no one's stupid. People just don't know what they're doing.
I'm just an entrepreneur. What do I know?
So what I want to be talking about is sort of what I feel like is the right way to be making changes to the HTML markup in WordPress. So for this case study, a very common issue in WordPress is how do we target the anchor tag that is wrapped around an image? Because when people are theming, they want to say, hey, I want to add a background or border to the image tag, I want to add an on hover or something. How do we target that A tag that's wrapped around an image?
Right.
And if you go to the forums, a lot of people will give you the wrong answer. Or a very bad answer. Like, they'll tell you to just do it in CSS. That if you just do, like, the A hover image, that'll target the anchor tag, and it won't. That'll target the image tag. They'll tell you that there's this, like, parent selector that doesn't exist. They'll tell you there's this parent pseudo element. That doesn't exist. You cannot target the anchor link without an actual specific piece of CSS. Some people give you a sort of okay answer with a JavaScript jQuery, where you can target it and then walk up to the parent and stuff and add a class that way. But I don't think that's the best answer because you're then relying on that client-side JavaScript to edit it when you really want to be changing it on the server side. So the solution is to use WordPress filters. WordPress filters, whenever WordPress is outputting any sort of text string, even arrays, it offers a filter element that you can then modify. It works just like a pipe. So in my example of using this, when you're inserting an image that's wrapped in an anchor tag, WordPress has a specific filter that's named that just sort of pushes along. You say add filter in your functions.php file in your theme, and you can modify that. And you can find a list. There's about 200, 300, you guys probably know better, of filters in there. Any single text string. This is just an example of inserting that image, but any really text string that you want to insert, you can modify that and push it out. And all of that happens in your theme file. And you can find that info in the codex.
You can also do it in a plugin.
Exactly, or in a plugin. And sort of the way these work is you find the specific filter that you want to modify. So in this case, when you insert that image into a post, I think the best place is to modify it there. Just because that's when that HTML is being generated in the first place. And the name of that, when you actually find it in the codex, is image send editor. Then you have your callback function. I'd call that give linked images class. And the way that works is you just, like I say, the pipe, you take in that string, in this case it's called HTML, you modify it, in this case I do some regex, some regular expressions, you could always, add on a piece of text or whatever, and then you just return it, you push it back out. And you could filter, 10 times, you can write as many filters as you want on the same element, and it's just sort of like, you're pushing it on to the next filter. So this is just an example. The difficult thing is finding the right filter name that you actually want to modify. That's always really difficult. Like I say, you can find it in the codex, but I have a lot of empathy. If you can't find it, you can always modify the content, which is like the nuclear option. That is when your post is actually pushed entirely to the browser when it's rendered. You can always do like regular expressions on that and stuff, but I think it's better to go right to the source where it's generated in the first place. And lastly, if you're less than technical, this PHP is tearing you off. When you actually are on WordPress.org forums or you're on Stack Overflow, try to be specific when you say, how do I filter the output of the images that are wrapped in anchor tags or whatever, just because that'll be more of a flag to developers like me who can say, oh, this is how you write a filter, than sort of front-end people who may not be as comfortable with it and that will give you the wrong answer. So my name is Ben. You can find this presentation if you want to find the slides on my blog, island94.org. Are there any questions?
I think you undersold the technical level of what you're going to talk about. I mean, that's like half of WordPress development. Understanding filters.
Are you actually changing them with the filter? What are you changing for the filter in this case?
So when you click on the insert into post, when you changing
10 seconds!
10
seconds!